Hi everybody, it's Barb Kapla, and it's a Monday, May 4th at 2 o'clock, and you're here to join me for another session of making some cute craft items with the paper crafts that we do here on Barb's Paper Pizzazz. Today we're going to do 3 different projects. One that we're going to do first is the card. This is a birthday card. It features the magnificent Magnolia, or Good Morning Magnolia stamp set. And it's a pretty simple card to do, but it's very pretty, made out of Mango Melody cardstock. This is the Hershey Bar Treat Holder, so that when you pull it, the Hershey bar just magically comes from the bottom of the package, and we will show you how to do that. This would be a great gift for anybody, co-workers or your best friend, or a surprise for anybody. And then the last one is this cute little box, and this little box is so cute because it holds 2 Hershey Kisses. That's all it's big enough to do. So I'm hoping that you'll enjoy the projects that we do today, and I'm hoping that you'll be able to make them yourself so that you can enjoy them and give them to somebody else. Sounds good. So let's get started. I'm going to do the card first. So let me put these 2 away. And we're going to start with cardstock. The cardstock that we're going to use again is the Mango Melody by Stampin' Up. It measures 8.5 by 5.5, and we're going to score it down the middle at 4 1/4. I've already done that. I don't think you need to watch me do that. So your card base pretty much is completed. On top of that, this card has 2 liners, one that's Mango Melody and the other one that is an embossed layer. So we're going to add the first layer, and we're going to put it on the card face. This particular layer measures 4 across the top by 5 1/4 all the way down the side. Then on the next layer is a piece of cardstock that we're going to use. This is very vanilla, and this measures 3 3/4 by 5. And what you're going to do is place this in an embossing folder. And the folder that I've selected for today's project is called the Layered Leaves folder. It's a 3D folder, which means that it makes really nice deep impressions. And we're going to put this in the back side so that the mounds of the leaves come up, and we're going to run that through the Big Shot. As we do that, I think that you don't need to see me do that. You will wind up with a page that looks like this. The embossing on here is very defined and very deep, which makes it very pretty as a background for the Magnolia. So we're going to add this to the front of the card. I'm hoping that everybody who comes today, who sees this, can share this video with those that do paper crafting, so that they will know that I do this every Monday at 2 o'clock. And that's done. Okay, so the next big project is to make this beautiful Magnolia leaf and flower image. So we're going to stamp it first, and we're going to stamp it with Memento ink. I generally use Memento. I like the way it's not real dark, and it certainly doesn't leave a stain on your cardstock. And let me get the cardstock. So here we go. Because this stamp is so huge, we ink it up this way. And my general philosophy is, especially when using large stamps like this, is that make sure that you've gone over it a couple times, and when you think you have had enough ink on there, go around one more time. Add more. That way you won't be sorry when you turn that over and find that you're missing ink spots. Okay, so we're going to turn this over and we're going to stamp it like so. And there we go. That turned out really nice. And so now we're going to color it. And because we're using Mango Melody cardstock, I decided that we would probably be good with using Mango Melody blends, both the light and dark. And I'm only going to do a little bit of, hi, Sandy Baxter. Hi, how are you? Thanks for joining me. And we're going to color it. I generally use the blends all over. This happens to be the light one. And I'm not going to color the entire flower because I think you'll know how to do that. But we'll just show you how to use the blends. How's that? Okay. That's the light. Then I come back with a little bit of dark. And the dark I use generally at the base of the flowers and up the side, especially where there's accent marks in the petals. Kind of try to blend that in. Not sure that I'm doing this correctly, but it looks pretty good after I'm done, so I'm assuming it's okay. So there you go. And then what I do is I come back around again with the light and go over those marks to blend them in, leaving some light spaces in the petals as well. And what this does is it seems to give you shading. There's light and dark all throughout the flower. And we'll do the same with the olive green, old olive blends for the leaves. I'm not going to color them for you. So we're going to now take this, pretend it's colored, and we're going to take this and we're going to use the Magnolia memory die set that comes with, that coordinates with the Good Morning Magnolia stamp set. And we're going to line it up. Now pretend it's colored, okay? And we're gonna take off and run it through the Big Shot. And when we come back, we're going to wind up with this. This is the shading that I did with the old olive, light and dark. And the blends are really easy to use, and they make a very pretty color swash, so to speak. So we're going to place this on the card. We're going to use dimensionals to do that. Okay, where'd they run off to? Aha. And this is a fairly big stamp, so we're going to need quite a few of them. I like to use dimensionals fairly well because this card, if it's pulled out of the envelope, is fairly large. This image on this cardstock is a large one. And if you continuously pull it in and out and in and out, it's going to wear and tear on that image. So I use the cardstock and dimensionals to raise it above. Oh goodness, sorry. That's Abby. We're going to raise it up, and what it does is kind of interfere with the drawing in and out of the envelope. So I use dimensionals because it holds it better and it holds it more securely. And there we go. Okay, so that's on. Looks very pretty. We're going to add a bow, but we're going to do that last. The next thing we're going to do is do the Celebrate the Best Day Ever. This particular sentiment comes from the Band Together stamp set. So we're going to use Celebrate the Best Day Ever, and we're going to put it on a piece of cardstock that's very vanilla. Now normally I wouldn't tell you to do this, but for the sake of doing video, I didn't really want to go off camera, stamp it, run it through the Big Shot. So I'm going to get hopefully my luck is with me today, and I will be able to stamp this in the middle and cut it out. And if I don't, you know I have a spare in the wings, so it's all good. So we're going to stamp this also in a Mental Black ink. And we're going to see how well I am in centering this today. There we go, pretty good. We're also going to do another one from another piece of cardstock. That's the Mango Melody cardstock. And we're going to take this, and as you can see, we're going to separate the background by cutting this in half. And we're going to add it to the sentiment one. What this does is it kind of gives that sentiment a frame. And generally, you're not going to be able to use the same one because it'll cover up exactly this one. You know, this one, both of them together would cover each other up. So what we do is we cut it down the middle and then we pull it to the sides to separate it, and it gives it a frame look, so to speak. So let's add that. And we're going to add the other side. I can't believe today's weather. This past weekend was the prettiest weekend that we've had so far this spring season. And today, it's back to winter. It's 47 degrees out. I opened up the door and I couldn't believe it. It was incredible. There we go. Okay, so now we're done with this. We're going to put this up on dimensionals as well at the bottom of the card. And we're going to put 3 of them on. We're going to take the liners off. And we're going to put this at the foot of this card. Kind of in the middle, I guess. There we go. Okay, so let's add the ribbon, and the front of this card will be done. During my classes, I tell everyone that comes to my class to try making the triple loop bow with their fingers. So we're going to give this a shot today again. We did this last week. I don't know if any of you caught it, but we're going to make a triple bow. So I hold the tail, and we're going to do 1 loop, and in a figure 8, 2 loops, 3 loops, 4 loops, 5 loops, and 6. Okay, and then we're going to cut it down here. And we're going to take this tail, and we're going to come back up and cross over and through my fingers to make the knot part. And then once we're done with that, we're coming back around, oops, and we're going to go under the part that I just created that I crossed over with. We're going to go under, come on, don't fly away from me now. We're going to go underneath and pull. And when I do that, it comes together very nicely, and hopefully it'll come off my fingers and that'd be a permanent part of me forever. Okay, there we go. And what we'll do is just separate the bows out a little bit, the loops out, and we're going to add some glue dots to attach it to the thing. So we're going to trim off the edges, or the ends, so to speak, to make it look pretty. And then we're going to use glue dots to attach it to the front of the card. I usually put a glue dot in the center right on the knot. And then I pick it up and I go to the next glue dot and I put one on the loop part on one side. And then I do the other side. hopefully, thanks, Sandy. You'll make them. You'll make them. Okay, you'll do it. You'll get it done. Okay, so here we go. Let's rearrange these loops again so that they look pretty on the card. And then we're going to paste this right here on that stem. And there you go. It's the front of the card is completed and it's got a pretty presentation. Okay, so the inside is very simple. We're going to do a double layer again. And so the liner goes first. This is again 4 1/4 by 5. And let's glue that in. Now, if you have this stamp set, you can do this in any color. I found that I didn't do the mango medley much in the classes that I had this year. I don't know why. I like the paper. I think it looks very pretty. But I never used it, so I decided to do this sweet in it. So this is the stamp surface. This is very vanilla. Measures 3 3/4 across the top by 5 down the side. And we're going to stamp this as well with Happy Birthday. And the Happy Birthday stamp comes from the same stamp set that we featured last week called Peaceful Moments. And here's the birthday stamp in that. I told you that it's a versatile stamp set last week, and I'm proving it to you because I've been using it a lot. So we're going to do Memento Black again. We're going to hopefully get it straight and upright so that we're stamping it correctly. And this is going to go right in the center. And then we're going to use the flourishes at the top in there right here. And we're going to ink these up with a Memento Black as well. Oh my goodness, look at all the red ink dye on that acrylic. We're going to do it so that one of them, this particular one, has the curve going at the top facing down, and then here the curve at the bottom facing up so that it looks like they're facing one another. And we'll give it a try. And then we'll redo. And we're going to re-ink and re-stamp. And there it is, the card. Oh, I should have gotten more ink on there. But we're going to take it now and we're going to glue it on the inside. I got a smudge. That's okay. I have a magic eraser. It'll take it away. Oh, it's because it's on my hands. Good, Barb. That's really good. Okay, so there it is. The card is done. And I think it was easy card to make. And I hope you enjoyed watching. And I hope you get a chance to put it all together. Now we're going to do this Hershey Bar holder. This is pretty simple. It is a little piece of mango medley cardstock that measures 6 by 6 inches. So it's 6 across and all square. And then we're going to take this and score it at 1/2 inch here and 3 1/4 inches here. So I have already done that. So we're going to be able to fold it, and I'm going to use my bone folder to make this nice crease for you. And then we're also going to take I'm doing it the wrong way. On the half. Okay. Okay. So now we're going to put it together. And this, like a box, has to be put together with tear and tape because it will not hold. And I can see that as I come back to this over the last week or so while before I made it, this even separated and came apart. So what I would suggest, and I cannot find my crimper. I have a crimper that my sister bought me that is pretty old, and I've had it for a long time. And what I would do is take the crimper up a couple notches and crimp this edge so that that Hershey bar bottom stays put, so that you don't have to worry about the Hershey bar falling through. It wouldn't fall through anyway, but nonetheless, just to make that end secure, okay? So now that's it. That's all there is to it. So now we're going to decorate it. And what I'm doing to decorate it is I'm using the new punch. There is a punch new in this year's annual catalog. It's called the Decorative Ribbon Punch. Looks like this. And we're going to punch this going all the way around. Now this is white. I know it looks kind of funny because everything is very vanilla. So we're going to punch this all the way around. And if you don't know how to do this, I'm going to show you. Over here, if you can see, there is a mark. There's a black mark line here and a black line here. That's the beginning point. And what you want to do is line up your paper with that mark and make sure that when you punch, every time that you punch, this side of the paper is right up against this ledge, okay? And we're going to punch. And then as we move this through, we're going to match the design on the paper to the design that's built in the punch. And we're also, again, going to make sure that this part of the paper is up, and we're going to punch. And we're going to continuously do that until we get a strip of this fancy ribbon punch. Oh, what happened there? Huh. Well, anyway, luckily for you, I have another one. So nothing is lost. Oh my gosh, can you see this? Oh Lordy. Let me see. Where am I? I don't know if I can correct it or not. Let me see. Wouldn't you know it? I could do this 100,000 times a day, and as soon as I get it on a video, oh, let's forget it. Just pretend that this all came out, okay? I'm not perfect, and boy, that's a proof of that. So we're going to take this and move this out of the way. And by the magic of video, I have one that is actually perfectly done. Ta-da. So we're going to take this and we're going to put it on here to decorate the top of it. This kind of looks kind of plain to me. If you had the chance, you could have done this to this, but I would have made the paper longer so that it would accommodate the Hershey bar better. But since we didn't, we're going to follow through with what we've got. So we're going to take this and bend it around, so to speak, and glue it on. All right, so let me pull on it this way. And I'm going to put it up a little bit. It will still hold. It's not going to be perfect because the measurements of the candy bar don't necessarily match the measurements of the paper. But and we're going to cut it off. And hopefully wrap it around the edge. There we go. Okay. So now we have a pretty paper holder that's going to hold a Hershey bar eventually. What we're going to do now is we're going to take and we're going to punch some holes in here. This is an 1/8 inch hand punch, and we're going to punch the holes in here to make room for the ribbon. Now, Abby, quiet. Let me see, how can I do this? We're going to punch them fairly close to each other and kind of eyeball it toward the middle. And then we're going to, boy, that's not really eyeballing it very well. And then we're going to mark it. Probably is the easier way to do this, but good enough. Okay, so we've got 2 holes on either side. And we're going to take, again, this pretty ribbon. This is a 1/8 inch Old Olive grosgrain ribbon. And you're going to need a fairly long length of it. I used 26 inches to get this, and I would have liked a little bit more room. So I'm going to go 30. So that's 16, and 10 is 26, and 4 is 30. So we're going to cut this off, and now what we're going to do is we're going to thread this through. We're going to start at the back. Well, no, we're not. We're going to start at the front and move it through the front hole. And then we're going to thread it through the opposite side hole. And then we're going to come back around and move this through this hole. I'm going to push this through here. There we go. And we're going to make it so that it's even on both sides. Okay, so now here's the trick. You're going to take your Hershey bar and you're going to put this and slide it all the way down into the package. Now, if you want to make a bow, you can, and tell your recipient after you've given it to them that all they need to do is pull on the bow and the Hershey bar will pop out of the inside of the container. There you go. So there, that was not too tough. Okay, so let's decorate it up a little bit. I chose, because we're in the Magnolia business today, we're going to use the Magnolia Bud stamp, if I can find it. Okay. Well, where did it go? I didn't put it away, did I? No. Yeah, it's with somebody else. So anyway, we're going to stamp on a piece of cardstock the image of the Magnolia Bud on Very Vanilla. We're going to do 3 of these. And we're going to color them just like you did the Magnolia flower with the blends. And we're going to also add 3 green leaves. We're going to use this punch. This punch is going to be it's called the leaf punch, and it's discontinued. But it's a great punch to hang on to. I'm not giving mine up because you always need leaves, and leaves in a punch are very difficult. So we're going to punch 3 of these out of old olive cardstock. And, here it is. Jeez. Okay, let's stamp these. And you would color these just as we did the larger flower with the blends, okay? So I'm not gonna do that to you and have you make you wait. So in the magic of video, these are done. They would be cut out with this die from the Magnolia memory die set. And you would cut all 3 of them out separately because there's only 1 die in that set. So we're going to attach these. I'm going to concentrate on attaching them a little more closely. Again, we're going to put them on dimensionals because they need to stand away, and this is going to get a lot of wear from people handling it and so forth. So we're going to put it up above the surface. And that's kind of what makes it interesting. It gives it texture, gives it a different look. Hi, Manal. How are you? Hi, Carla. Good to have you watch. Thank you. Share this if you can, please. I would love it. And there we go. And then we're going to add the leaves. We're going to put those on with the snail. And we're just going to tuck them around. There's no particular place. Wherever you think is good, is good. However you want to do this front is up to you. You can do something totally different. You don't have to kind of follow my lead here, but whatever you decide, I'm sure it's going to be lovely. Let's put one up there. And then the last one we'll put down here toward the bottom. There we go. Okay, now we're going to give it a salutation for you. And we're going to do that with 2 punches, and we're going to do that on some paper that is, again, the very vanilla. So the 2 punches that we're going to use today are the 1 1/8 inch circular scalloped punch and the 1 3/8 inch circular scalloped punch. So we're going to do both of these. This big one will be the background, like here. And there's that. And then the little one, we're going to stamp before we punch it. And we're going to stamp it with an itty bitty greeting, and it says "for you." We're going to stamp it again in black. And we're going to hopefully put it on the right way. And we're going to use the smaller punch to punch it out. It'll be nice tomorrow for demonstrators is the day when we get a chance to do the pre-order on the new annual catalog. So I'm kind of looking forward to tomorrow. I have pages of lists of things that I would love to order, but it depends on how much it all totals up. I know I won't be able to get everything, but it's lovely. And we're going to glue those two together with snail. This goes up on dimensionals. And it goes toward the bottom of the Hershey bar holder. So this is another project that you can do as a suite. It kind of makes a great opportunity for you to give to a coworker, someone in the family, just a little something just because. There's really no particular occasion that you need to. Just give it, and it's going to be fun. So there's your Hershey bar holder. So let's move on to the third and final project, and this is this cute little tiny box. This little tiny box has, thank you for sharing, has this big punch on it, and it says fabulous at any age. And inside, when you undo this, it holds 2 Hershey Kisses. If I can get them out. And it's just big enough to hold those 2 Hershey Kisses. You kind of have to wedge them in there pretty well. So I'm going to take them out, and I'm going to retie the bow. But this is a fairly simple and very quick way to get a little treat holder for your project. Okay, let's bring this down. Okay, here we go. Anyway, all right, we're going to set that over here. And so how we do this is we're going to take some mango medley paper from the Brights DSP 6x6, okay? And what you're going to do is cut a piece of this that is 5.5 at the top and 3 inches down the bottom, okay? And then you're going to take it and score it at 1 1/4, 2 1/2, 3 3/4, 5, and then this is going to be all cut up to make that little box. So there you go, 1 1/4, 2 1/2, 3 3/4, and 5 across the long side. And on the short side, we're going to do a 1-inch score at the bottom. This is the bottom of the box. Okay, so I'll leave that there for you to take a look at. Oh, I wanted to mention, for those of you that placed an order with me since April 24th, there were 8 of you. And if you were watching my video, be surprised, you will be receiving your gift this week. I finally got those gifts done, and they're going out to the mail either today or tomorrow. And I hope you'll get them this week and enjoy them, okay? So we're going to, I know you can't see this, but we're going to do this little piece first. This little tiny rectangle at the bottom here, I'm cutting on the score line, and it is going to come all the way out. We won't need it, okay? We're going to take that out. And then everything else is going to be cut on the score line up to the 1-inch score line that we made here. Okay, and then we're going to fold this. Oops. And when we put this together, we're going to, again, use the tear and tape because, again, even though it's a box, we're putting lots of pressure on these tabs to hold those Hershey Kisses in. So we're going to use tear and tape to put it together. And so we're going to just use the one for demonstrating purposes to speed it up, but I am certain that you will understand. You can put more on than that. And then we're going to fold the bottoms of the box in like so. And we're going to use a piece of tear and tape to hold that bottom as well. Now, certainly you can add more, but I don't want to take up too much time of your time and my time. so that you can get to doing these projects rather than watching this, okay? So there you go. The box is done. And what we're going to do now, if this is the back, this is the seam edge, so the front of the box is going to be right here. So we're going to push the sides in, like so. And we're also going to do the punching hole thing again, so we can get the ribbon in. You don't want to punch down too far because you won't be able to fit the candies in. We're going to punch 2 holes. We're going to take additional ribbon. I don't know, probably a foot. I would think a foot would do it. Probably too much, but I didn't measure it. And we're going to put this through the same way that we did the other. Oh, goodness, come on. And back through the back side. Thank you, Janice. I think it's cute too. I mean, you could make a ton of these and just give them out. I think they would be just so cute. And people would just be shocked to have you see it. Oh, and I must have already punched this. No, I didn't. You know what I did? When I folded it, I punched another set of holes on the side. Oh, dear. Punch it before you pinch it, okay? It's incredible. Okay, so we're going to tie this together and make it look cute, because it's always all about the presentation, you know that. And we're going to trim these up. And we're going to add our punch. So here's the larger punch. This is a punch that is where? Oh, where are my punches today? I wonder if I put it back thinking, oh, it doesn't belong here. Well, let's see what we can do. Let's do a punch just like we did on the other one, on the candy bar holder. And we're going to stamp this, very vanilla, fabulous at any age. And here is that. And we're going to punch that out, and I think we're done. I hope this fits. Boy, am I lucky. I am going to, for those of you that attend my class, I'm looking into doing virtual classes because of this COVID virus hold up. We're not going to be able to get together much unless I do it on the computer. So I'm having a training session on Thursday, and I will try to figure that out. So if I send you an email that says, would you like to participate? And I hope you say yes, because I would like to try to do classes online. So for those of you that would like to, give me a shout. If you already attend my classes, that's great. If you haven't yet and would like to, please contact me by my email. My email is barbkapla@gmail.com. Today's host code is this, so that when you go to my web page on Stampin' Up and you purchase items from me, this host code brings it into my domain so that I know that you're shopping with me. And for those of you that would place an order today of $30 or more, we will send you a gift in the mail. So we're done. Here are your projects. all completed. I think they turned out just adorable. They are very pretty. The card is pretty. Do it. Be creative in what you can make. I know you can do this. This is not that hard. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you'll join me again next Monday at 2 o'clock when we try to do this again. So I appreciate you watching. Thanks so much. See you next week. Bye.